Alright guys, I'm back. I'm going to go ahead and talk about Hekate and Voodoo, finally. Alright guys. So I just have to start this video with I don't even know what you would call it. I just have to start off this video with saying this so that you all can understand. I am not initiated into the religion of Voodoo, alright? I am not authentically initiated into that religion. I do work with the Voodoo spirits or the loas, okay? I have researched and learned Voodoo. I have been taught Voodoo by some people who run an occult store here in my town who are initiated into Voodoo. They have taught me when I ask questions about Voodoo and about the practices and about the spirits, the loas. They have told me and taught me some things, okay? So it's not like I'm just some person without any type of guidance at all as far as the traditional aspects of Voodoo, because I do have guidance on that. But I also am aware that I am not initiated officially, nor do I practice Voodoo in the way that the religion traditions practice it. I practice Voodoo in my own unique way under the direction of Hekate. And I'm going to have to get into that as well in this video of the whole reason why I even started practicing Voodoo was because Hekate told me to. Okay guys, because remember I told you when I had the vision of her in the spring of 2013, on March 25th, 2013, I had the vision of Hekate. That is when she came and told me I would be her oracle. And ever since then, she has remained in communication with me, either through dreams, visions, when I was awake, visions, and then later it developed into telepathic communication, alright? And it is from then, which that began, the telepathic communication began in the winter of 2013. So basically from like November and December of 2013 to January and February of this year, 2014, was when I really started to get the telepathic communications from Hekate, and when I started to get to the point to where I knew how to do it consciously. Because at first it started where she would just speak to me telepathically and I had no control over it, just like with the visions and the dreams. But eventually I got to where I knew what I was doing and I knew how to do it back, to where we could have dialogues and conversations back and forth. And that's basically where it is now. Okay, so it was at the beginning of this year, in around January and February, Hekate told me to start learning Voodoo. Now I should also say, being an eclectic witch, ever since I've been a witch, I knew some about Voodoo already, alright? I had already dipped and dabbled into it, but I had never really been all that interested in it, honestly. It just didn't appeal to me. I wasn't interested in Voodoo at all, even though I did read some about it, learn some about it, and all that. I knew what a veve was, and all that. Which, if you all do not know what a veve is, as an example here, I have a gree bag here on hand, but you can see on here is this pattern, this symbol. If y'all can see that, let me set this candle close so you can see better lighting. See that symbol on there? That is called a veve. Very much like a sigil or something like that. In the Western traditions, in Voodoo, you have veves. Like in the grimoire traditions of like the Key of Solomon and that, how each of the demons will have a specific sigil that summons that demon. In Voodoo, you have what are called veves, which they basically act to summon the awareness or the presence of a loa. Okay? So I knew what that was already before any of the stuff with Hekate. And I knew a little bit about Voodoo and all that. I even got this tattoo on my wrist. I hate showing it like that because it doesn't look right, but it's a... Let me put the candle back here again so you can see better. This is the veve of Urzuli Frida. That's how I pronounce her name. I could be saying it wrong. But she is the loa that rules over love, beauty, wealth, romance, and marriage. But so anyways, excuse me y'all. I had already worked with some of the loas, namely with Urzuli Frida, in an eclectic way. Once again, not initiated, not traditionally or anything. I had only worked with her in my eclectic way. I viewed her as a love goddess, basically. And I worked with her in that way. I set up altars to her and all that. And that type of thing. I actually felt a really strong connection to her, is why I even got that tattoo of her veve on me. So that's just to let y'all all know that I did already have a little bit of a knowledge of Voodoo before Hekate told me to really learn it well. Okay? So now when she came along and told me to learn Voodoo and learn it well and all that, originally the first thing that she told me to do was to create a veve for her. Okay? So that's what I did. And if you guys have seen in my videos or on my Facebook page, on my Instagram and all that, you all have seen the veve that I've created to Hekate in my videos. It's this huge symbol that's on my door in the back. You can't see it now, but if you just look at the video right before this one, you'll see it. And that is the veve that I created for Hekate, okay? Now, I'm going to explain it to you as it happened to me, because that's really the best way to get you all to understand it. Because even as I was doing all these things and Hekate was telling me and guiding me to do all this stuff, I, in those moments, really did not even understand fully where she was going with it, or what it was leading to, or what her reason was. I was just hearing her telling me what to do and obeying her, because I am a devotee and I do obey my goddess. So I followed what she said. I mean, that was the first thing she told me to do, was make the veve. So I did. And then I continue to learn Voodoo and start to practice it. And that's when I started to ask the questions of the people who own the local Voodoo shop here and all that, and how they practice and stuff like that. And I just started to learn more and more about it. Okay? Now, let me get into the reason why, because as I'm sitting here talking to you all, Hekate is kind of talking to me right now on what to talk about with you all. Okay, so I guess she's going to control how this video goes. So let me get into why she wanted me to create a veve for her. Okay. In Voodoo, you have the loas. Okay, they're the spirits that they are seen. Okay, because in Voodoo, in the religion, you have the supreme creator God. Very much like the Christian God, which is why Voodoo merged in with Catholicism so easily, okay? Because you had the supreme creator God, which they named him, or they call him Bon Dieu. I'm not sure if they view it as male or female. I think they view it as both, or transcendent even. And then beneath Bon Dieu, you have what are called the loas, okay? So once again, this is why it's so easily merged in with Catholicism. Because under the Catholic God, you have the saints and angels, all right? And that's pretty much how the loas were viewed. They were viewed as intermediary spirits between the supreme God and then humans, okay? So there are these beings, these intermediary beings, these spirits that have all of God's power, okay? Or all of the Creator's power. And they are intermediary between the transcendent Supreme Creator and humans, and the physical human world, all right? So, if you have ever worked with Voodoo, or if you have just been into the occult for a long time and you just know about Voodoo, a lot of people say, and just know, a lot of witches know, that when you want something done, and you want it, like when you absolutely want something done with magic, you go to Voodoo. You do it with Voodoo. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because these Voodoo loas, these spirits, have a very powerful link to the earth and to the physical realm, alright? And I'm going to have to get into that a little bit more in depth. Probably not right at this moment. But just suffice it to say that when you have these other gods and goddesses, like Apollo and the Greek gods and goddesses, or different pantheons, these gods and goddesses are very of a astral or celestial nature, alright? However, with the loas, they are very much of an earthly nature, of a physical realm, a nature. They're tied closely, intimately to the physical realm, to the earth itself, okay? So because of that reason, they can have more, I don't want to say that they can have more powerful effects and manifest more powerful effects, because that's not true. These other gods and goddesses and stuff, they can manifest just as much powerful effects. But I will say that with the loas, it seems that the ability to do so is just more easier for them to do. It's just more easier for them to manifest their powers and stuff, because they are already so intimately connected to the physical realm, okay? So understand that. Now, Hekate, being of the Greek pantheon, or being this cosmic soul, this very astral, celestial goddess, falls in that category. However, she wanted me to create a veve for her, so that by use of the veve, she could become similar like unto a loa. Okay, she could then be linked into the physical realms at the level of like how the loas are linked into the physical realms and have such easy access to the physical realms and have such ease at manifesting their powers and influence on the physical realms. Hekate wanted that as well. So she had me create her veve for that purpose. Alright, guys? So that is the story of how that came to be and why I did it. Alright? Hekate wanted that. Now, you all might be asking why. Okay? Hekate? Why Hekate? That's probably what you're asking. Why, of all these gods and goddesses to mix with voodoo, why Hekate? Okay? I am not the first one to be a devotee to Hekate and then to also start to practice voodoo and then to incorporate them. I'm not the first one to do that, you guys. I think I'm the first one to create a veve for Hekate and actually put her at the status or at the level of a loa and link her to the physical world in that way. But I am not the first one to merge Hekate and practices with her into voodoo. I actually know other people who have done that before. Okay, so I'm not the first one to do that. But you still might be asking, why Hekate? Why would she be the one celestial astral goddess of the higher realms that would want to merge in with voodoo and the loas? Okay, and let me explain that now. Hekate is the cosmic soul. Okay, y'all remember me telling you all this already in the last videos. Hekate is the cosmic soul. Okay, what is the knowledge of that? Okay, I have to describe this kind of separately so that you can then see how it all ties in. Alright, so in this knowledge, once again, there is a supreme, transcendent creator deity, or source, alright? And this goes back to the Chaldean oracles, in case you want to read up on this yourself. Read the book Hekate Sotera. Hecate's roles in the Chaldean oracles and related literature. Read that book and you'll see all this knowledge that I'm talking about. I'm not just making this up. This is ancient knowledge, alright, about Hekate. Okay, so, and these systems, they're really philosophies, if you think about it. And these spiritual philosophies, they once again had this supreme creator deity, okay? Like unto Bon Dieu of Voodoo. There was a supreme transcendent creator deity. I don't think they even gave it a name. Alright, and then right beneath that deity, the first thing that deity created was Hekate. Alright, she is the very first creation that emerged from the source. Alright, the source recreated itself even in a tangible form from its transcendent form that it was in already. It projected out from itself a form that could do things, a form that could create at the physical level and interact at the physical level, because the supreme transcendent deity is supreme and transcendent. Okay, you understand what the word transcendent means. Okay, it's permanently stuck in that state. But what it could do was that it could project from itself this being with all of its same power, all of everything about it, except for the fact that it was, okay, because this deity, this transcendent deity, is infinite and eternal. So in order to experience anything else, it had to create a finite reality. Okay, does that make sense? So it created Hekate as the one that would be the architect of the finite reality of the universe in essence. So that is where Hekate came from. That Hekate was created by this supreme transcendent deity and created her first, and then basically put into her its will to create a universe, a physical universe, and rule it how it wanted. So that is why Hekate has control over everything. That's the reason why. She is the cosmic soul of that transcendent deity, and its will. Empowered Hekate's name means she who works her will, alright? Or she who works her will from afar. Excuse me. And that's very true. You just have to understand it as how I'm explaining it. Okay. So, okay, now further along into this philosophy and this knowledge, then beneath Hekate, it's like a hierarchy, okay, understand? Then beneath Hekate was created all these other beings, these intermediary spiritual beings that we call angels. Nowadays we call them angels. Back in the days when all of this knowledge was written down, they just called them all Daemons. Okay, not demons, Daemons. And that goes for all the intermediary spirits between Hekate and humans were called Daemons. Alright, and that just means wise spirit or guardian spirit. Okay, so can you begin to see how this ties in? Where you have, in the Voodoo religion, in the Voodoo tradition, you have the loas, which were created underneath Bondier to be intermediaries for in between Bondier and humans, okay? And then in this other philosophy you have Hekate, the cosmic soul, is the very first creation from the supreme deity or God, and then underneath her was created the angels and intermediary spirits. So if you look at it from how I look at it, that means that Hekate rules over the loas, alright? I brought this up before in one of my Facebook groups, or one of the Facebook groups I'm in, and it offended these people who are initiated into voodoo. Some of them got offended when I said this, and that's fine. You know, it's just my theory and my practice. You're free to believe whatever you want, as am I. So, in my practice, in my belief, and in my gnosis and studies, Hekate, as the cosmic soul, rules over all of the Daemons, okay? And because of the role they play, the loas, as intermediaries, I would classify them as Daemons, as intermediary spirits. That at least cannot be argued from the traditionalist voodoos and voodoo practitioners, that the loas are indeed intermediary spirits between Bondier and humans. That will not be denied by anyone who practices voodoo and anyone who's initiated in it. So we can at least agree there. So from that, I just take into account the fact that Hekate is the one who rules over Daemons and intermediary spirits. So, she rules the loas, alright? And I don't believe that's disrespectful at all. I just believe that's how the hierarchy works. Okay. So, Hekate had me create her veve so that she could then begin to work and move and have effects. Not that she couldn't before, but like I said, with these veves, with the loas, they have more ease with influencing and affecting the physical world and the physical reality. They do it with such ease because they're intimately connected to it and kind of bound to it through the veves. So, Hekate wanted a veve for that purpose, okay? So that she could then more easily start to have effects and use her power and influence more easily on the physical world, alright? So, I hope that all makes sense to you all on that. And if not, feel free to leave comments below and ask questions. If that did not make sense to you, or if there's something that I maybe skipped on accident, go ahead and ask me about it. Like I said, I cannot share all of the knowledge that I have right now about this because Hekate doesn't want me to share it publicly. But I can tell you all more if you talk to me personally on Facebook and I discern that you are ready to hear it, number one, and that number two, that Hekate will allow me to tell you personally, then I will definitely tell you more. But as far as sharing it all publicly, I just cannot do that because I will not disobey Hekate. So, let me see if there's anything else I should address in this video. Yeah, let me just say, do not comment on here trying to argue with me about my views or my experience or gnosis. Arguing isn't going to change my views or experiences or gnosis. And arguing is not going to change your views or experience or gnosis, okay? So if you come on the comments arguing, I will just delete them and not think about it again. It just won't even matter to me, okay? So you're just wasting your time. But once again, I do not believe that it is disrespectful at all. I do respect the loas very much. I honor them and all that. It is just my understanding that as the cosmic soul, Hekate rules over all intermediary spirits. Completely. Including the loas. That is just my understanding and my views. And once again, I am not just making that up or just coming up with the idea out of nowhere. You all read the book, Hekate Sotera, and see for yourselves that this is well documented and established knowledge that I'm sharing with you all. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video on that note. Excuse me, y'all. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't leave anything out. Yeah. I'm also going to go ahead and say, if you all want to work with Hekate on the level of, with her veve, I invite you all to use the veve. That's fine with me. She had me create it, not just for myself. I've already been sharing it with others who were interested. So if you all want to use it to work with Hekate, to give her the same kind of ease to manifest her powers and influences in your lives, definitely use the veve in your workings with her, and you'll see it does work just like how a veve works for the loas. It just works just the same. Okay? So, if y'all want to use that, that is perfectly fine with me. Just don't try to take credit for it, okay? Because if you steal it from me, or if you try to steal it as your own idea or design, you'll be dealt with by the higher powers, by Hekate. But I do invite you all to use it in your practices and share it, okay? Just don't take credit for it, because it's mine and Hecate's, alright? I also do want to mention in this video too, I am writing a book that will be telling all of this knowledge, not just what I shared now. It is still very much a work in progress, because there's also so much still that Hekate is teaching me about the whole thing of Hekate and Voodoo together, which I call it Hekatean Voodoo. Alright, so that's another thing. Don't steal that from me. That is, I coined that term, and I copyright it, Hekatean Voodoo. But I will be writing all about this in my book, and I will be having that published when it is done. And this book is also going to include, did y'all hear that pop? I hope y'all heard it. Y'all, I switched my chair. If y'all see this, from that other old chair I was using in my other videos that was always creaking. Every time I moved positions, it creaked and popped. That was my chair in those videos, which I switched over to this one so that when the actual popping does happen on my walls and stuff, you all will know and be able to discern now the difference, that it is not the chair, okay? If some of y'all were thinking that it was the chair in the other videos, in my other video that I was doing, I forgot the title of it, but you clearly heard 2 loud pops on my dresser, and then on my closet door, that was actual pops on my wall and door. But my chair pops a lot in the videos too every time I move, so I went ahead and switched to this one. But if y'all heard that one just now, you know it was not the chair this time, for sure. It was the wall. And once again, it's in this video when I'm talking about Hekate. And like I told y'all, those pops are Hekate. People who talk to me and start to learn from me about Hekate, the pops are happening for them too. It's Hecate's presence. Since I created the veve for her, she's very much tied to the physical world now because of that reason. So she manifests more easily, her power manifests more easily, and it does manifest as pops on the walls. It's like a poltergeist activity. It's her presence causes knocking. And when you talk about her and when you learn about her, you're calling her presence to you, okay? And especially when you learn from me about her, because I am her oracle and I do know a lot of inside information directly from her. So whenever I'm able to share that from her, to you all. Her presence will very much travel with the knowledge that you receive. Her presence is very much with it. So you will start to hear the pops and stuff like that around your house or wherever you are. Like right now, y'all, when I'm in my bedroom, the pops are here. The taps and knocks on the walls are in here in my bedroom, okay? Nowhere else in the house does it happen, alright? I've asked my mom, okay, does she ever hear pops or knocks on the walls? She never hears it, alright? She comes in here and she hears it because it's happening around me. It's not in this room, it's around me, okay? When I go out of my room into the other rooms in my house and stuff, the popping follows me, okay? It's Hecate's presence. She's not linked to the room. She's linked to me because of the knowledge that I have and because of the presence that is within me. Y'all, knowledge is power. Remember that. So it's very much happening to some of the people that I've been sharing this knowledge with are getting the pops too. Okay? This also does too happen with people who practice voodoo, with people who practice with the loas and work with the loas. The same thing happens. The popping and all that is the same thing. Like I said, the popping began around here when I started practicing voodoo and doing voodoo with Hekate, and I created the veve for Hekate. Alright, y'all, I think I'm starting to ramble in this video, so I'm going to go ahead and end this one now. I know I had said in one of my past videos, I said, I had mentioned if you are already a devotee to Hekate, and you have suddenly and recently been feeling drawn to voodoo, that there is a reason why, and it has to do with Hecate's goals and agenda, alright? And that's what it is. That's that's what it is. She wanted the veve so that she can start to work with her followers at the same way that the loas work with the voodoo practitioners, okay? She wanted to be able to have an easy way to manifest her power and influence on the world, but with her followers and her devotees. So a lot of you all who are already devotees to Hekate and you've been feeling drawn to voodoo, that's the reason why. It's not because your paths are changing up. It's not because you need to stray away from Hekate and worship and serve the loas. That's not the reason why. You guys don't need to be shifting over and serving and worshiping the loas at all. I mean, do that if that's what you want. But I'm letting you know, if you are a devotee to Hekate and you're feeling drawn to voodoo, it's not because you're supposed to worship the loas, okay? You're supposed to learn it, learn how the practices work, and all that, so that you can then apply that to your worship with Hekate using her veve, alright? So that is the reason why. So there I told what I said I was going to say in the other video. That's what I was going to say. Alright, so that is the reason why she's sending so many practitioners to voodoo. So many of her devotees to voodoo. So you guys do it. Use the veve. Start to use it in your practices and you will see what I'm talking about. You will start to see how easily and more powerfully it seems that she can manifest her power and influence in your life with great speed when you're using her veve. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end this video, y'all. If you have questions, leave it in the comments. If you have just comments and input, leave that in the comments too. Go into my YouTube channel, to the cover photo and the Facebook icons. Come out to my group, Empowerment for Witches, where I am working to kind of bring this knowledge of merging Voodoo with Hekate and all that together, and we can discuss that, and we can discuss it in more detail and more knowledge there. Alright? But I'm going to end this video now. So I hope all this knowledge that I have just now shared, I hope this really helps you all, especially to those of you who are devotees to Hekate and you're feeling also a pull to learn Voodoo and all that. I really hope that this helps you kind of get a better understanding of why, so that you can empower yourself with it and just start to, work it, Alright. Hail to the witches, y'all. And blessed be.